Good morning, YouTube viewers and subscribers. So on the bench today I've got a returning customer engine here for service that was just sent to me. Actually got here a couple of days ago. So the story behind this engine is this fellow bought this off of RC Groups, and the fellow he bought it from off RC Groups is actually, I don't know if he's a subscriber of mine, but he comments on my videos quite frequently. So this is, well, instead of me just talking, let me show you. It's an Enya 80 4-cycle engine, and here's an exhaust, the exhaust components, and here is the engine. Now, whether the seller, I don't think the seller did anything with this engine. I think he just got it and for whatever reason decided to sell it. So I mean, this is my external preliminary evaluation. It looks like the fastener heads look like they're in good shape. Carb is free, which is a good thing. Oh gosh, yeah, it's got really bad bearings. I can just tell by the way that flops over and rotates it. I got some really bad bearings here. So basically what this is going to be is just a complete tear down, clean, bearing replace. Probably isn't going to be anything too exciting. Okay, that doesn't look bad. Cam followers are moving because our rocker arms are moving. Really just kind of looks like you need bearings here. Now this is a newer style head, because the older style heads actually had that this piece here was like a metal piece that screwed in place, and this is the kind that's cast into the head. So this is kind of critical, because if you ever over torque the cover screws or break this out, that becomes kind of a problem, because it's very difficult to repair, and you pretty much need to get a new head, which is getting harder and harder to find nowadays. Looks like it's got an Enya number 3 plug in here. Some runtime on it. I see some carbon buildup on the top there. Now, this is unusual because I thought there was supposed to be screws in there to hold that in place, hold this shaft in place. I'm gonna have to put my magnifier on. Okay, so there's the top of the piston. Oops. Pretty gnarly. We'll get that cleaned up. Not a problem. Doesn't look too bad under there. I may not even need to drop those valves. Might just put this head in there just like that. Push rod covers. They're fine. In fact, I'm not even going to clean those. They're looking good. Let's see if this gasket survives. Oh, perfect. Beautiful. Gasket survives. Intake manifold looks perfect. No need to clean that. I need to get these seals out of here. I'm just going to put this head in here just like that. Afterwards, if we need to hold the valves, we can do that. The next trickiest thing is going to be taking this timing cover off. I typically tend to provide a little resistance. Okay, it's probably been about the easiest removable I've ever seen. So here's typically what an Enya rear end case looks like. Can be a lot tougher to pull apart. These timing gears look pretty dirty, which is not a big deal. All this stuff will get cleaned up. Got those cam followers out. That tiny bearing looks pretty rough. I'm gonna have to, I think I've got one of those on hand. Getting it out is the hard part. Oh, let's go to this guy. And there you have the nasty insides of that. Not unusual. I mean, that's about what I would expect to see on one of these. Just have to go pound this crankshaft out. This piston should come right out. Oh wow, look at that piston. That piston is... this engine definitely has some runtime on it. Let's see if the ring feels... no, the ring is smooth or rotates, is not stuck. So that's a good thing. I'm going to get this pin out. This little wire clips retain in here, so I'll have to take those out. Here's another thing that Enya does. They mark the connecting rod with an F, denoting that's the front of the connecting rod, meaning it faces the prop. And this thing just pop right out. Oh, look at that, the bearing just completely disintegrated. And that's going to be a problem, because now the bearing components have just completely disintegrated here, and I've got little balls everywhere, and now I got to try and figure out how the hell to get this off the inner race. That should be fun. And now I got all kinds of little bitty balls here. Well, I'm going to finish this assembly here and put these parts in the cleaner and figure out what I'm going to do with this race. Now, as part of this experiment, this exhaust, instead of putting this in LA's Totally Awesome Cleaner like I would normally do, I'm going to go drop this just as it is into my gunk carburetor cleaner and let it sit all day, and maybe pull it out tomorrow and see if it magically cleans this off.